Monsieur le Ministre, and now it will be in English, honorable speakers, dear colleagues, distinguished guests, dear friends, ladies and gentlemen. As the President of the Collège de France, it's my honor and pleasure to welcome you all today to this important Inspireurope and Stakeholder Forum, a crucial gathering of key actors dedicated to defending academic freedom and supporting those deprived of it. A mission that is more vital than ever in our current global context. The Collège de France, the institution which I have the honor to represent here, embodies this commitment of free pursuit and dissemination of knowledge since almost 500 years. The professors of the Collège de France have cultivated a unique space within the French, but also international academic landscape, where researchers across all disciplines share their ongoing work directly with the public without prerequisites and diplomas. And this fosters a deep appreciation for the fundamental freedoms that drive intellectual progress. Freedom to teach, freedom to think, freedom to create, to innovate, and to research. And this fundamental spirit of an open inquiry and the defense of intellectual freedom are not just abstract ideals for us. They are part of our heritage and continue to shape our mission. They are the very foundations of the identity of the Collège de France. And this is the reason why in 2017 the Collège de France seized the opportunity to create a French hosting program for researchers in exile. This initiative, which became the PAUSE program, reflects our deep recognition of the invaluable role that free thinking and creative expression play in the advancement of our societies. PAUSE is an important example of collaboration, born from the shared commitment of the Minister of Higher Education and Research and the community of the university. And this spirit of partnership extends to the program's governance, with the steering committee bringing together key ministries as higher education and research, culture, foreign affairs, interior, along with leading voices in French research and culture. This broad support underscores the national importance and collective endeavor that PAUSE represents in providing refuge and support to threatened scholars and artists. PAUSE is very successful, also threatened in its existence, we will hear about that. But PAUSE has given shelter to nearly 700 people from more than 40 countries, and this reinforces our convictions that institutions like ours have a crucial role to play in providing refuge and opportunities for those whose freedoms are under attack. In today's world, marked by increasing uncertainty and divisions, this support is more essential than ever. For as you know, threats against academic and artistic freedoms are multiplying across the globe. Academic freedom is under threat in many places, and it's crucial to understand that there's no place where its defense and protection can be taken for granted. Even in countries we once considered to be bastions of democracy and leading centers of research and innovations are witnessing now challenging to freedom and science. And these are not isolated incidents. They represent a crisis that demands a unified response. This is not a challenge that a single nation or institution can address alone. European cooperation is not just interesting, it's absolutely essential. And the protection of researchers and artists at risk requires a coordinated and collaborative efforts across all the borders. The growing number of initiatives across Europe dedicated to protecting academic and artistic freedom is a welcome sign of increasing collective awareness. And this forum is in this regard a vital opportunity to strengthen these bonds and to learn from each other's experiences. This collective awareness underscores the necessity of coordinated and collaborative approach, not only across borders, but also across sectors and disciplines. The protection and integration of scholars in exile are not solely the responsibility of the academic sector. This must be a shared endeavor involving private sector and civil society's actors. And how to bridge this gap between academic and non-academic sectors will be one of the main questions in today's forum. And now turning to those of you who have been forced to leave countries because of war, because of threats against you, thank you. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for contributing to our research and to our society. I have no doubts that your insights born from first-hand experience will greatly enrich our panels today. The Collège de France is honored to host this important gathering, and we believe that working together by sharing best practices and resources, we can create a stronger and more effective network of support for those who are vulnerable. Your presence today here underscores the shared commitment to those vital principles. And I'm confident that the discussions and collaborations that will take place during this forum will be important in strengthening our collective response. So on behalf of the Collège de France, I extend a sincere and warm welcome to each and every one of you. And I look forward to a productive and impactful forum. And now I'm very pleased and honored to give the floor to Mr. Philippe Baptiste, our Minister of Higher Education and Research, whom I thank for agreeing to open this forum of the Inspireurope project. Thank you very much.
Monsieur l'administrateur, Lieber Thomas, Madame la directrice, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor and a joy to welcome you today to the Collège de France for the third Inspireurope Forum. I will not say much about Collège de France. We all know this institution, an amazing institution. I can only recommend you to come and attend to the various lectures that are given on a daily basis here on various topics. You can also download them and have amazing podcasts. I'm a great fan, so thank you very much. What unites us today is the defense and support of threatened researchers worldwide. And of course, it takes on a particular significance in our current context. Indeed, we may have grown accustomed to seeing researchers threatened in their home countries, threatened by war, political pressures, or simply because they are scientists in regimes where scientific truth is inconvenient. We have sometimes become used to the idea that with each new conflict, high-level scientists from all over the world, from Syria, from Afghanistan, from Iraq, from Sudan, from Lebanon, from Gaza, knock on our doors. What is happening across the Atlantic in the United States should not make us forget that. Yet it would be naive to ignore the deafening clamor and the chilling surprise of this reversal. As the President of the Republic reiterated last Monday during the launch of the Choose Europe for Science initiative, what we are witnessing today is a complete turnaround from what has made America strong and exceptional from a scientific, technological, and economic standpoint. It's right that we should be struck by this, and reasonable that we should react. It's necessary that we allow ourselves to be challenged when a strong scientific nation like the US puts its own foundations at risk for ideological and political reasons. This is all the more crucial as the decisions made in the United States affect global research worldwide, including, of course, French and European research. Therefore, of course, I can only applaud the announcement made by the President of the French Republic last Monday and the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen. These announcements are, I think, a breath of fresh air. I hope it's the first breath and that there will be other ones, but a breath of fresh air, a call to mobilize in favor of free research worldwide. This program is not exclusive to what already exists for researchers at risk around the world. This is why, especially President Macron reiterated the state's support for the PAUSE program. These are complementary initiatives founded on the same conviction. Nowhere can we accept that academic freedoms be endangered. France and Europe can only be true to their values if they do embrace their role as a safe place for science and for research. Yes, we were founded in a crucible of the university. Yes, our democracies have sunk their roots in this fertile soil of free discussion, debate, and the exchange of ideas. And yes, we reaffirm who we are whenever we embrace the heritage of the European Enlightenment in the face of the endarkments of our world. In this regard, the PAUSE program and Inspireurope are exemplary. Therefore, since its inception, the Ministry of Higher Education and Research has provided constant support to this program. I just want to mention on a personal point on the fact that the PAUSE mentioned to one guy who has really strongly supported this PAUSE program. I am thinking of Alain Fuchs, who was the former director of CNRS, who passed away a few months ago, and who was a very strong supporter and a very early believer of this PAUSE program. Marie Curie was most discussed last Monday at the Sorbonne. She is, of course, a unique and remarkable figure among all those who have come to France from their home countries to work. She lent her name, of course, to the European program that made today's gathering possible. However, of course, I do not forget that she is one among many less known faces and less extraordinary trajectories. But all these destinies have enriched French and European science. All these journeys of men, of women, and researchers have helped France to rise to the challenge of the times at different times. This tradition of welcome is deeply rooted in our research institution. CNRS, which is of course a pride for France in many fields, was born amid the threat of war looming over Europe in the 30s. The PAUSE program is a continuation of this history. Since its inception, it has supported over 700 individuals, the majority of whom are scientists from more than 40 different countries. These numbers, they are small and large at the same time. These numbers remind us once again that the world is not always hospitable for free research. And behind these figures, there are stories, there are faces, there are people. The face of Liz you will hear from in the second panel, who left Lebanon to conduct research on corruption and its impact on daily life. The face of Natalia, who came from Ukraine thanks to the PAUSE program and has dedicated her research to academic cooperation between France and her home country. The faces of these men, of these women, who have lent their faces to the magnificent traveling exhibition, PAUSE for Freedom, that has been showcasing their destinies since 2020. What an honor for us, what an honor for France to welcome these faces into the mosaic that constitutes it. I think academic refugee is not just a moral obligation. It's also a way to participate in the long-term construction, in the long-term reconstruction of the academic systems of the countries of origin. If we welcome researchers in exile, it's with the hope that those who come today will be able to contribute to building and to rebuilding their home countries tomorrow, and to build also the strong links between Europe and their own countries. France can and must do its part, but it's right and important that it acts in strong coordination with its European partners. This is why the partnership of PAUSE with the SAFE program, alongside the German DAAD, Campus France, and you name it, is so valuable. The role played by PAUSE in France to implement MSCA for Ukraine is also a strong illustration of the need for integration into European networks. You have placed this edition of the forum under the sign of synergies between the academic world and the non-academic world. As I've worked quite a lot in both areas, industry and academic world, this is an initiative that I can only applaud. Indeed, it's the entire host society that must be mobilized to successfully meet the challenge of integration. This is particularly true for the cooperation between the academic world and business. On one hand, I am convinced that public and private research must go hand in hand. This is a reality that I've, as mentioned, experienced in my own career as a researcher in France and elsewhere in the US, in both the public and the private sector. It's an ambition that I also hold for France, which must continue to progress in bringing together public and private sector to serve our independence, our sovereignty in our future. It does not mean that every researcher has to work with the industry, of course not. It means that it must be open, and we must provide all the tools and all the facilities to ensure the fact that researchers can work easily in the industry and in public institutions at the same time. Moreover, businesses, industry have everything to gain by welcoming researchers whose rigor and precision and the way they lead research programs are invaluable assets for them. The incomparable human experience of PAUSE laureates is also an invaluable resource. Closing the gap with the private sector is finally a way to fulfill our commitment to researchers who come to France and who cannot or do not wish to continue their careers in academia. I am convinced that many partnerships will emerge further to this ambition. For my part, I call on actors in higher education and research, as well as those from the business world, to engage even more in welcoming endangered scientists. Just as scientific attractiveness must be considered on a continental scale, as we have implemented with the Choose Europe for Science, I am convinced that Europe has a crucial role to play in enabling the collective welcoming of researchers in exile. France will champion this ambition at the European level, and I will personally advocate for it alongside with my colleagues. Ladies and gentlemen, Salman Rushdie famously wrote that exile is an endless paradox, looking forward by always looking back. I hope that together we can look forward without forgetting what has come before or those who have paved the way. I wish you an inspiring day. Thank you very much.